Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of Uncanny Treks as we tackle New Avengers Volume 4 Perfect World. We are getting towards the climax of the Hickman run. We are looking at New Avengers issues 18 through 23. I am Bob in Cascadia. That is Matt in the Southland. Matt, how you doing this evening?
Bob, these were the issues of New Avengers I was so excited to talk about. I started talking about them on the other episode we did today. So trust me, this is a phenomenal series of issues right here that Hickman does. Probably my favorite so far.
This is the good stuff. It's really coming to a head. It's really coming to a climax. So Hickman's writing these, as we said, for the first four issues. We've got Valeria Sheedy on the art. He did two fill-in issues on Avengers AI, and as we noted back on Avengers AI, he's going to go on to do Inferno and Gods with Hickman, but here we've got him on the first four issues. And the first issue is issue number 18, Into the Breach. What goes down in Into the Breach, Matt?
So, Bob, before the incursion occurs, Maximus has healed his king, Black Panthers talks with Ghost, Namor discovers Doctor Strange has changed, Bruce Banner gets an incursion alarm, and Tony Stark gets mean with Black Swan. For listeners' sake, the last time we left the Avengers, we saw them, they were about to go face to face with practically the Justice League. It was a team of heroes from this other world that is about to face an incursion with our Earth. And this comic takes all that adrenaline that you had stat ready to see some fight between the Avengers and JLA, and it just bumps it back a little bit to the time before that so you can know what happened leading up to it.
We only saw the lead up from the Justice League's perspective
Correct.
at the end of the last trade, and we saw Namor and the Black Panther watching that Justice League. But now we're seeing everybody else, Maximus and Doctor Strange and Bruce Banner and Tony Stark and Black Swan get ready for it.
Right. So all that adrenaline you had packed up from issue 17, you're not going to release it in issue 18.
No. Just
Nope.
more foreplay, Matt. We get here, and we've seen them before, I believe, but we get T'Challa's Council of Ghost Black Panthers, which I do think is just a really funny contrast to Reed Richards' Council of Interdimensional Reeds from the Fantastic Four run.
That's cool. We'll see later. I feel these ghosts travel with him or they're always in his mind or something. I don't know how this works, but the spirit world and T'Challa go together well.
I want to say it's that he can always talk to them when he's in the City of the Dead. And since the New Avengers are headquarters in the City of the Dead, that makes that easy. But I didn't keep close track of it. Maybe there is some time when he's not in the City of the Dead when he's talking. My favorite panel in this issue comes on page 11, and it's a dialogue exchange between a Ghost Panther and T'Challa. The Ghost Panther asks T'Challa, "Are you a king?" T'Challa says yes. The Ghost Panther says, "Then you've already done evil."
True. And that leads to my favorite panel, Bob, which is on page 14, which is T'Chaka asking T'Challa why Namor still lives after Namor decimated Wakanda in the war.
All of the old Black Panthers, but especially T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, are big mad that Namor isn't in the ground yet, or under the sea yet.
Under the sea. 6 foot under the bottom of the ocean.
That's pretty low down. I wonder if I wonder how the Atlanteans dispose of their dead. I'm sure that's been answered in a comic in the Marvel Universe, and I'm equally sure that I don't know what the answer is.
Well, Bob, moving into issue number 19, we're all monsters now. The Avengers and the JLA hash out the incursion, eventually coming to the realization that the only option is to fight for the survival of their world.
We see in the two issues before the device that the Dr. Fate used to avert the catastrophe is called the Wishing Box.
The Wishing
And that's
Box.
basically the JLA equivalent of the Infinity Gauntlet, and it was rendered inoperable by stopping the incursion in the same way that the Infinity Gauntlet was.
So the Wishing Box, folks, Mother Box.
It's a little bit of Mother Box, but it's a little bit of Dr. Fate and Captain Marvel mysticism
It's
too.
got some stuff in there that looks a little bit like the stuff in the Marvel thing.
I do like also in this issue that Reed is starting to grow a heart, and Black Swan sees this and calls him useless for doing it.
It's true, and that's going to play a major role as these comics continue on in this particular trade.
I'm about to get to my favorite line, but before we get to the favorite line, I do want to say that Superman gets a really sick burn in on Beast, where he congratulates Beast for seeking to be the most moral mass murderer in history. That was a really great burn.
Like I said in the previous issue, folks, you had all that adrenaline built up. You're waiting to see the fight. It's not going to happen in this issue either.
No,
There's a lot of talk.
A lot of posturing.
And there's some action at the very end. And that is where both Bob and I, that is our favorite panel for this issue.
What actually starts the fracas between the JLA and the Avengers is that Namor sucker punches Batman and says, "I'm tired of waiting. If I must become this thing, let it be at a time of my own choosing." Man, Namor is so great.
I saw this part. I was like, oh man, Namor could not be any cooler. Then we just keep on reading.
It just keeps on going. You think you've exhausted Namor being a villain? You have not.
Not yet, because let's move on to issue 20, Bob.
I'm going to say that the title of issue 20, Matt, is I Said Bludicar and My Grandmother Slapped Me.
Yeah, it's got a weird title. It's the name of Doctor Strange's thing.
Not sure exactly what it is, but it's something with Doctor Strange's whole Lovecraftian evil thing he's got going.
Cthulhu, scary looking thing he creates. I don't know. But anyway, getting into the summary of this issue, the JLA kicks the Avengers' butts until Doctor Strange whips out his new god powers.
We have a little flashback where we see the scenes we already saw of Doctor Strange trying to barter his soul for power. And then we find out that that actually didn't work because he's soulless already.
I don't know how he got this new power, though. They don't go into detail about that.
Horrible things, Matt. Horrible.
Yeah, I'm sure something awful. We'll go back and tell us how. But as of right now, we don't know. He shows up and he's able to start doing these crazy things where he's got his third eye out and he's monster stuff shooting out of him.
I think he can bring his third eye out before he gets to the Cthulhu powers.
Yeah, he's always had a third eye, but his third eye looks scary here.
It is a scarier third eye.
Yeah.
It's a more evil-looking third eye.
It's not a normal-looking third eye. But my favorite panel, now that we finally get the fighting happening, that we had to get 3 issues of waiting to get to the fighting. My favorite is where Namor stabs Martian Manhunter with his trident, only for Martian Manhunter to then turn into his alien form and attack. Which was cool, because why is he not using his alien form? Oh, there it is. They copied that too.
And another one, though, too, right?
On 18, the Flash beating Iron Man. This version of the Flash travels at the speed of light. So Iron Man has armor. He just takes his armor off, and that's it. That's the end of it. He just pulls it off.
Yeah, it's deeply satisfying whenever Iron Man gets put down. Not even because I disagree with what Tony Stark is doing in this series, but just because in general, Tony Stark is annoying.
He's a rich guy in an armored suit.
Indeed. My favorite panel was a little later on page 22, where Doctor Strange starts insulting Dr. Fate as a charlatan, and then he strips him of all of his mystical equipment and reveals that basically this version of Dr. Fate is Harry Potter. Or if you wanted to go deep cut for comics, you could say he's Tim Hunter, who's DC's version of Harry Potter, who was invented before Harry Potter.
When they said charlatan, I was thinking more of he was a thief, right?
Charlatan means imposter.
Well, no, imposter, yes, but I thought that he stole the helmet or whatever, and that's why he was in control.
Well, I think the implication I took from it was he stole a bunch of different magical artifacts in order to stitch together this persona.
He's going collecting the magic without actually understanding it. I don't know if you've read Harry. I don't think that's Harry Potter.
Literally, he's
like a kid with glasses. Yes, I agree. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's an 8-year-old with glasses doing magic.
Sorry, I was thinking of the origin story.
Visually, he is Harry Potter.
Visually, he looks like Harry Potter.
Or he's Tim Hunter, who is, again, Harry Potter in Vertigo comics before Harry Potter.
Well, once he does get beaten up, yes, we find out he looks like Harry Potter.
For the record, I have read the first Harry Potter novel. I thought it sucked. I didn't read any others because I could never get a straight answer of, I would be, okay, so this sucks. When does this get good? I heard answers that varied from the second novel to the 5th novel.
Ooh.
And so I was, okay, that makes me think that it never gets good.
5th novel? Good grief. Hang in there for 5 novels.
That's exactly.
Ugh. It gets good around the 5th season.
Stick out 4 seasons, and then you'll love season 5, man. You'll love it.
Well, Bob, you don't have to worry about that here, because sticking out, issue 21, bomb.
What goes down in bomb, Matt?
Well, the JLA is defeated, and the Avengers debate over who will push the button to blow up the other world.
Before we get to that climactic moment, I did want to say on page 13, the way Maximus the Mad is describing the Black Swans adventuring throughout the universe, I do have to say it gave me real Doctor Who vibes, real vibes of the Time Lords in Doctor Who, which I think is kind of interesting to think of the Black Swans as evil Doctor Who's or evil Time Lords.
Then Maximus in this scene specifically uses some sort of drill so that Corpus Glaive can have air to continue to reconstruct himself. Is that what I'm understanding?
I think that's right. He's drilling through whatever Thane froze Corvus Glaive in.
For listeners' sake, Maximus is trying to break out the people that have been captured by the Avengers and are hanging out in Avengers dungeon.
Your Avengers Extraordinary Rendition compound in
Yeah.
Wakanda, away from international treaties about how you have to treat POWs.
Terex is down there. Thanos.
Another moment I really liked in this issue, number 21, is on 17, where Black Panther tells Superman he deserved better. That was a sweet moment. A hollow moment, but a sweet moment.
My favorite panel comes on page 19, and it's when Black Panther says that he would press the button. He's all excited about it. He's going to do it. He's got the bravery. If you look behind him, you see the ghost of his ancestors, and they all have different expressions on their faces. Some are, yeah, he's going to do it. And one of them's, he's not going to push that button.
Does it turn out, Matt? How does it turn out?
Well, it turns out, Bob, he don't push the button. He just cries.
He doesn't have it in him, Matt.
No.
None of them do. None of the Illuminati have it in them to push the button. Maybe Doctor Strange would have it in him to push the button, but I think he's incapacitated at this point from the Cthulhu stuff.
Right.
And so it leaves the one Illuminati who actually can do what needs to be done, Matt. It's Namor, who on page 23 says, "I'm the greatest man I know. Compared to this, I am nothing. These things you won't do, these lines you won't cross, they shame you. How dare any of you put yourselves, your damn morals, above the lives of everything?" And he pushes the button.
Then he pushes the button. Now, we end the issue without seeing the world explode. Keep that in mind.
Did the button work?
Going back to what you said about Strange, of all the other characters, he was the one I thought originally was going to be the one to push the button.
Because he just seems to be fully Cthulhu possessed.
Correct. And the cop-out they were going to go to. But Hickman's a good writer, so he didn't realize that was not the best idea. Any other writer would have chosen Doctor Strange at this point, not Jonathan Hickman.
Indeed. So we go to issue 22, We Are Not Brothers, and on 22 we have Kev Walker take over the art from Valeria Sheedy for the last two. Kev Walker didn't work on the original Marvel Zombies miniseries, but he did work on 3 of the later ones, so I think that's the most likely place you would have seen his art, Matt.
Okay. Yeah, well, in this issue, Bob, We Are Not Brothers, Namor leaves the Illuminati with a parting shot at Black Panther, revealing that back in Infinity, he's the one who sent the Black Order to Wakanda to raise it a second time.
What was your favorite panel in this issue?
My favorite panel's silly here, Bob, because this whole issue pretty much is just Namor and Black Panther going at each other. The whole thing is the Illuminati holding them back so they don't kill one another. Great framing for the issue itself, but there's one scene in particular on page 13 where Reed had been wrapped around Namor, but then Namor tosses him aside like he's a rope. And to me, there's just so much history between those two characters, and that just, the simplicity of that action just made it seem so weird. He's nothing. He's just a rope tied around me. He's not doing anything to me.
At this point, Namor is destroying worlds, man.
He's not worried about Reed.
To quote Apocalypse, "I'm as far beyond the mutants as they are beyond you."
Bob, what was your favorite panel?
My favorite panel was, and we have some really great lines from Black Panther in this issue too. The Black Panther-Namor rivalry just continues to be the standout of this whole run, right? But Namor again gets the last word on this, and he, in the course of, you were saying, he reveals that he was the one who got the Black Order loose on Wakanda. He says, "You know what I regret, King of the Dead? That so many of your people are still left alive."
Ooh, sick burn. Man, that's hatred right there. That's hatred.
Yeah, they do hate each other. Namor is fully the devil in this series, and it's amazing.
All right, Bob. So we go into issue number 23. All Angels Have Fallen.
So, Matt, on page 3, we get an expanded cast page. When you were reading this, were you surprised by all the new people who we're going to see from in the cast?
I was, because I didn't know what direction we were heading in, because we still have the incursion about to take place. Oh, excuse me. In the end of the last issue, we realized that another incursion was going to take place.
Yeah, Namor blew up the Justice League world, but then we immediately get another incursion, right?
Right. They're happening more frequently, apparently.
And then what's the overall Illuminati attitude to the next incursion?
They don't want to blow stuff up.
They
can't do it. They can't do it. And now that they're not really on side with Namor, they don't have Namor to push the button either.
They assume that the end of the world is imminent, Matt. So over the course of issue 23, what do all the members of the former Illuminati at this point do?
Well, Bruce Banner, he seeks consolation from Hulk. Beast from his younger time-displaced self. Doctor Strange from Wong. Iron Man from his sobriety. Panther from his ex-wife Storm. Reed Richards from his daughter. And Black Bolt from his dog.
Because all assume that the world is about to blow, right?
Correct. Yeah, the world's about to end, so we've got to get our last couple of words in.
Yeah. So what scene, I had a question about, Matt, and I wanted to see if you had a take on this. Last trade, Wong reassure Stephen before Doctor Strange sold his soul or did whatever awful bargain he did to get this power, right? Wong assures him that he's a good man. And then he will not assure Doctor Strange of that on this page in this issue. And I was wondering, did I miss something? Because from the reader's perspective, you can maybe see why it would make sense to say that Strange isn't a good man at this point. But it just, has Wong seen anything that would give him a reason to change his opinion on Strange?
Okay, this is where I'm thinking, I feel like I'm missing something here because I don't know how Strange still got that power without having a soul.
I don't think they're ever going to explain it.
Oh,
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the implication is just that he did unspeakable things.
okay. And maybe I'm thinking those unspeakable things, maybe why Wong is.
It's just that Wong knows Steven well enough
Yeah.
that he can tell what he's done. It would just seem if you were going to be cynical about it, Stephen Strange already wasn't a good dude when Wong first told him he was a good dude. And Wong, at least that we've seen in the comic, hasn't seen anything that would lead him to change that opinion.
Well, I've got a question for you, Bob, with Iron Man and his sobriety. He lays out all the shot glasses and pours the alcohol. Did you understand that as he's not going to drink them?
He's not
Okay,
going to
he's
drink them.
not. He said, because he said he's going to fight this. He said he's definitely going to win this. He's not going to win the incursion thing, but he's going to win this. And that's what he's saying. Okay.
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought, what is he going to take all those shots? He's just showing he's going to pour them out. He's pouring the shots, but he's not actually going to take them.
Exactly. And then my favorite panel came in the course of Reed going to visit his daughter, who was at a sleepover at Uncle Doom's. And so as they rouse Valeria in the middle of the night, Sue and Reed do, so that Reed can see Valeria. Doom is not pleased, and he comes out, and while holding Valeria's hand, he says to Reed, in Latveria, Doom demands that all children get a good night's sleep.
Doom is the right kind of person. He's an educator.
Yes, he
needs
is.
sleep.
Matt, my guess for your favorite panel was the last couple of pages, 23 and 24, where we see another variation on Reed giving a speech to the Illuminati, but here it's Namor giving Reed's speech to the Illuminati, but it's an even more evil Illuminati with Thanos, Terex, Proxima Midnight, Maximus the Mad, Corvus Glaive, and Black Swan.
Right. So yeah, he's broken them out. Now they have this. It's called the Cabal, correct?
They'll call them the Cabal later. I like calling them the more evil Illuminati, but yeah, they're called the Cabal.
Okay. And this is run by Namor instead of Reed.
At first, it's going to be run by Namor.
Okay, so maybe they'll be the ones to stop the incursions. That's nice.
The implication is that the world doesn't blow up at the end of this issue, right? And at first they're like, oh my God, did we totally miscalculate the whole thing? But no, it didn't blow up because Namor and the more evil Illuminati blew up a second world.
And you destroyed the entire DC universe, guys.
The entire DC universe is gone.
When nothing was going to happen. Come on, now.
And I mean, looking at the subsequent history of the DCU, at least in movies, can you say that was the wrong decision, Matt?
It was not the wrong decision, for sure. We know that much.
So, Matt, it's fair to say this is your favorite volume of New Avengers so far?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You get a fight between the Justice League and the Avengers. You get Namor becoming the most badass villain ever, who has this, he has a moral code that he's not wrong in a sense, but it's still not what you want.
It's horrifying, but it is also hard to see where he's wrong on a certain level.
You got it, yeah. So that's what I like about Namor and the way he's written here. And then you just have the interactions between all the characters. Everything with Black Panther, just phenomenal writing. Love it.
It's the Black Panther Namor stuff is really why I wanted us to do this run.
I can't say, and I really don't see much of any weaknesses here, especially in this particular volume. Other than anything involving Black Bolt, I feel like they don't really flesh out much with him. But I think he's too strong of a character to use.
It's just hard because of Black Bolt's inability to speak means when he's one member of a cast of 7 or 8, it's really hard to give him side development.
As you're reading, listeners, you'll notice he's always in the scene, but never really doing it. I feel bad for him. It's a poor Black Bolt. There's a reason that the Inhumans didn't take off.
But there's a really good solo comic with Saladin Ahmed wrote it, and I believe Christian Ward, the guy who did Batman City of Madness, drew it. maybe we should look at some point. It's a fun solo comic. He can use Black Bolt. Hickman used Black Bolt really well in Fantastic Four, for
Yeah.
instance.
Here, he's not doing much.
I maybe want to like lower your expectations a little going forward. I don't remember Time Runs Out that well. I'm going to be curious to see what I think about revisiting it because I really don't remember it that well. But my vague sense is this is the high point of the run, and that Time Runs Out is, while not bad, this is truly the high point, I think.
So much like everything else, we're not going to get a satisfying ending.
I don't even know if it's that the ending is unsatisfying. I just think that this is the high point, and Time Runs Out is more like dealing with fallout and then transitioning into Secret Wars, which in some sense Secret Wars is the end of the Avengers run here, but in another way Secret Wars is just a totally separate thing.
Oh, okay.
You could read Secret Wars by itself. I wouldn't really want to. I don't think Secret Wars is that interesting. It's fine and good, but there's no reason for us to talk about it by itself. But you could read it by itself. I do think you would find maybe the end of the Hickman Avengers run unsatisfying without Secret Wars, but there just is an interesting way in which it's also extra.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see what you think about Time Runs Out and what I think about it on my second time through it.
One other thing I want to ask Bob, around this time, this would have been 2013. What was going on over
This is later. This is like 2014 or 15.
Okay, yeah. So what was going on around 2014, 15 in DC at this time?
I think they were getting ready to do DC Rebirth. There was a period called like DCU where they were okay. A lot of the New 52 didn't stick, so we're gonna do more indie kind of artistic versions of the heroes. The Brooklyn Batgirl was a big part of that. Yep. She was actually called like Burnside Batgirl, but she was the Brooklyn Batgirl.
So what I'm seeing is like Forever Evil was a big deal at the time. Batman Eternal.
Oh, yeah, I could see how that's similar to this.
Endgame, Future's End, and then Grant Morrison's Multiversity.
Yeah, but Multiversity didn't have a lot of take up in the universe as a whole.
Right. I was just curious what was going on there. I feel like
Endgame is Scott Snyder where Gordon is Batman, right?
If I had a time machine to go back 10 years, I would like, if I was having to go into the comic shop, having to choose what to actually purchase, I feel Marvel will be winning.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Although there are some like really bad crossovers going on in Marvel at this time too. This is the era which we didn't like. We could have talked about how the Adjectiveless Avengers issues we just covered were an Original Sin tie-in. We didn't wind up doing that, but that was a tie-in to Original Sin, which was not a good crossover. And then I believe in Avengers World, we're going to deal with an Axis tie-in. Axis is not a good crossover. So this is also the era where there's a crossover from Marvel every 3 months.
Oh, that's very annoying. And on both parts of the companies, they're just trying to make money.
The same way with DC from that list of crossovers you just read off, right? Well, this has been Uncanny Treks. This is us covering New Avengers Volume 4, Perfect World. Join us next week, listeners. We will cover the whole spinoff of Avengers World, and then we'll cover Avengers Time Runs Out in 1 or 2 episodes. I'm Bob in Cascadia. That's Matt in the Southland. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks for listening.